right, welcome back. 2021. United Podcast shows in the house. Wow. My brothers here. This is our third show of the year, our 20th altogether. Wow, we always want to give a special thanks to our followers and subscribers because again, without you guys, there wouldn't be any of us. So tonight, with all these things that are going on, there's impeachment going on. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of sad things that are going on in the world. But tonight we have a very special topic for you. We decided to speak about relationships, not only any relationship, but what men look for in relationships. Okay, so we're gonna talk about quality. We're gonna talk about the turn-ons. We're gonna talk about the turn-offs, and hopefully for all those ladies out there who are trying to figure out what is it that he wants. Why can't I hold the man? Right?
Get ready, ladies. Get ready because you hear it from the man's mouth.
Oh, why can a man hold me? Right.
Right. So, but before we begin, of course, you know, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to all my brothers so they can go ahead and say a nice warm hello to all the listeners out there. So, first person I want to bring up is Chuck.
Happy New Year, everyone. I just want to say thank you. You know, welcome to the United Podcast Show, our third episode of the year. Wow, it's just crazy. Yep. Eddie-O, back to you.
Right. Thank you, Chuck. Of course, man. I'm going to pass the mic on to my man, Ray. Yo, Ray.
Eddie-O, thank you. What is a man looking in a woman relationship type of question? That's going to be interesting.
Fire tonight.
Fire. Yeah, let's get it going. Throwing right back at you. Let's get it going.
And I'm going to keep on passing it to my man, Yo, Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh.
What's up, fellas? Thank you, brother. Thank you, Eddie. I'm excited about this topic. It should be fire. Listen, 2021, Happy New Year to everyone. One thing I want to say though is like, don't be, afraid to put in your comments because we don't want to be biased at the same time. We're sharing four guys, but we want to hear the woman's perspective. So, chime in, please. But I can't wait. Absolutely. Let's go get Eddie. Come on.
All right. So, like my man Manny says, this is our perspective. Four men, right?
Men
answering questions.
Handsome man.
Grown ass man.
If you're on Spotify, you might want to catch us on YouTube so you can see how we look. But anyway, so I'm gonna just dive in, and I'm just gonna simply say, first of all, what are certain qualities that we look for in women, right? What are certain things that turn us on, right? I'm gonna pose that question to Chuck. Yeah, Chuck, what is it that you look for in a woman?
Oh man, wow. Man, she has to, be herself, just be genuine. Somewhat outgoing. I do like to get out. I'm not a loud voice, but I like to get out and just get out and have fun and just be entertained. But
hold up, Chuck. What do you mean? Is that the
but nah,
that
man,
kind of boisterous?
Just kidding. Nah. I mean, I love women, and man, just they have to want to just take care of themselves, not depend on anybody, just be independent, shit, man, that's a loaded question. It's not loaded, but it's a lot that can be said about it. You know what I mean? So just like, I enjoy women. For them to be around and be themselves, not clingy, talk, but not too much.
Wow. Be careful.
Look, it's not aimed at anyone, but that's just,
but you know what? That's actually that's fine. We can stop. I'm gonna stop you right there, only because I want to hear some from the other people on this.
Right.
On this.
Okay.
So hold your thought, because I know you can keep on giving me a list. But hold your thought, because I have a specific question for that thinking, right?
Okay.
So you did say a lot, right? You did say a lot, and we thank you. But that was good. I'm gonna ask the same question to Ray. Ray, what are certain qualities, almost like non-negotiables, that you look for in a woman that will fulfill you as a man?
That's a great question, Eddie, because you know what it is. As Chuck was giving his answer, I was thinking about, what would be my answer, and then the first thing that came to my mind is, well, I'm a different person now than I was, when I was younger. So obviously, right, the criteria will be a bit different. So I'm just going to talk about, as of today. to me, it's you know, I'm an outgoing type of dude. I like to do a lot of activities. And I want somebody to be there with me to kind of enjoy that moment, because obviously, there's a lot more fun with that. So have the ability to kind of connect, not just on, the mental level, but also just activities and, just I'm a daredevil. I want to push people to that level and see how they react. I'm not crazy, but I just, that just drives me a little bit, because I think to me that kind of, it draws me more and more, because okay, this is something that, I like to do. She, can she do that as well? Right. And also just have, and another thing I know Manny has been preaching this a lot is just be able to communicate, but also just give me a little bit of my space. Again, not too clingy, but just, I'm here, you're there, we're two people, we're in a relationship, but I'm also my kind, right?
Correct.
So I definitely want to have my moment, my reggae, my peaceful moment. And as long as you understand that, that's fine. We're going to have some moments where there's going to be some, okay, hey, listen, there's some disagreement, but that's fine. That's in a relationship.
Right.
But, just to cut it short, outgoing, a lot of fun, and, still let me be who I am.
Thank you for that. That sounds all right. I am going to ask the same question, only so like that we can set the tone tonight, right? And then I'm going to individually ask each and every one of you guys individual questions. So Manny, the question is for you now. So what are certain qualities that you look for in a woman?
Yeah. Thank you. And Ray, you hit it on the head, man. And Chuck too. I always look for someone that's at peace. I always say that if you don't love yourself, you really don't know what you want. A lot of times relationships don't work because you get into a relationship not knowing really how much you love yourself or what are you looking for. So then when you don't get what you want, you start wondering, why isn't it working? Because you haven't found yourself yet, right? It takes time to know thyself, right? So I like an individual who is secure, who's confident, who can hold her own. And like what Ray was alluding to, that understands that a relationship is a relationship, but we also need each other. We're two individuals that come together to share our lives, but at the same time, we're not attached at the hip. You understand? Yep. What makes, I think that the spice aspect of the relationship comes in when you can share, hey, what happened today in your world? What happened today in my world? You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with that one.
Yeah. You don't have to, I don't have to be, you don't have to be on my back all day talking about, what are you doing now? Where are you going? I don't need that, yeah, someone that can cook, someone that's independent, and someone that's mature enough to understand what it is that she's looking for.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are definitely setting the panel. Ladies, you hear this, right?
Wait. Well, let me ask to the single man on the panel.
Thank you.
Don't think you're gonna get away with it.
But wait,
he's like, oh wait, you heard
me
first.
No. He's trying to sidestep this one
from the single professor.
Eddie.
Right now.
All right, I'll answer, but I'm going to keep it very, very, very short and to the point. What I look for in a no, but only because it really isn't that difficult. Relationships shouldn't be difficult. They should be to the point. What I look for in a woman, honestly, is transparency, honesty. I do like the independency part of it, where a woman is independent, just sharing and enjoying life and understands my language. And when I say understands my language, it understands when I say certain things, and it goes both ways, of course. But we have certain communication, and we don't have to agree, but we can talk about things, right? Well, we put the importance of love first and keep on moving with certain situations. We can't be so emotional to the point where you want to break up and then you want to get back together. Those are turn-offs to me. People that enjoy life, happy people, optimistic people, an optimistic woman, as far as for like cooking and all those, the traditional things, yeah, that's fine, but I can cook too. That's right. I can do the cooking. I wouldn't be in a relationship because of financials. I mean, we can both bring financials, right? Companionship. I know at this point, since I'm the last person to answer the question, some of my answers are pretty much what you guys said. I like that outgoing kind of person as well, but I also like that kind that woman who can just chill, sit back, and just cuddle and watch a movie and just really enjoy somebody and is comfortable enough to know that I care about them to the point where they don't have to have me text them all day or see or be there. And I really don't like to be controlled. And when I say controlled, I mean like, remember, it's a relationship. You don't own me and I don't own you. We're together for love, and to experience the world, the short world that we live on here in the earth. Right.
We're grown
So
ups.
I'll keep on giving more, but I want to keep on asking you guys questions. I know this is gonna get very deep and very interesting. Thank you. So I think in any relationship, whether you're a man or you're a woman, I think intimacy is very important, and intimacy can be found in different ways, right? I want to talk about emotional intimacy because, first of all, in the world that we live in today, there's so many negative things that are happening that if you do have a woman, that's something that you should be offering to your woman, and a woman should be offering to you. But I want to ask, what is emotional intimacy to you? What type of emotional intimacy can a woman give you that will make you feel that security? Because men need security as well from a woman, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Ray. Ray, what kind of intimacy do you look for in a woman? And it may not necessarily have to be emotional, but
no.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a great question because I think, and a lot of us may have some challenges just being able to truly open up to even friends or family, and that's something that is truly needed. Just just not just in a relationship, but you have to have some way of being able to say, okay, I'm dealing with something. I want to be able to share some of my most deepest feelings and sentiments, and being able to have that person, because sometimes you may not, I know we share, we share some stuff together, but there's some stuff that you may just want to share with that one person, right? And to have that capability and opportunity to do that, I think that's very very key. So the being able to say, okay, listen, I just want you to listen to me. This is what's happening to me. I just want either you need somebody to hear you, or more importantly and more meaningful is you want to get that person's point of view on how you're going through emotionally, right? Because it's hard, it's hard for a man to really express himself emotionally, like go through some stuff. We try to hold it in, and that always does some damage. But being able to have a person where you can open up and then, not just like deposit as Manny would say, but also kind of receive and being able to analyze and understand, okay, man, I can really appreciate that I can have this conversation with this person about some of my closest and most, deepest type of conversation I can have. And then that relief truly, again, just brings you closer and closer, right? Now, me as personally, it took me a long time to learn that, right? And I think as a young man growing to where we are today, I think it's a normal pattern. But yeah, the ability to be able to emotionally deposit and have someone else share the burden with you. Again, relationship is be able to like share not just happiness, but also sadness. Yeah. And trials and tribulations. So definitely that's one of the major benefits from and key things to have in a relationship, being able to have that.
Thank you so much for that. So you can say also like, so basically you also have a friend in your relationship, but even a little deeper than that, right? Because this is your partner. This is a person that you also share the bed with, you know what I mean? So, okay. Oh, that was good. Wow. Ladies, I hope you're taking notes because this is what it is. Pay attention. Even though I would say that the 4 people on this panel right here, we're not like regular people, you know what I'm saying? We're a little different, but I hope you're enjoying this show thus far. All right. So my next question is this, right? So we know that communication is big, and different characters, different people communicate differently. You have people that shut down, you have people that scream, you have people that you have people that don't know how to use their words, you have people that get violent. How important is communication to you, Chuck, in your relationship with your wife or your woman?
It's very important because you have to words hurt, so you have to be careful what you say, man. Yeah, that's the key thing, just being patient. Because if you got to be, key thing is you got to be patient with yourself first before you be patient with someone else. Because if you don't, then anything. If you're not patient, then that person that's trying to communicate with you, you're gonna shut down on them, especially if they're not doing what you want them to, not what you want them to do, but just be on the same page as you. Yeah. So being patient is key.
I get to, Eddie, if I may, I can touch.
Yeah, please chime in. Of course.
Chime in.
Yeah, Chuck, and well said. So I think that communication is the foundation of the relationship, right? With anybody in your life, number one. I think we talked about that in the last show, but communication is key. Again, knowing thyself is very important because you can share really what it is that you want instead of conveying a message of anger and frustration. A lot of times we scream and shout, but all it is we want to convey a message. I need this, or I need that, or you're not giving me this, you're not giving me that. To communicate with someone is to really be in sync with the person, right? That's the backbone of the relationship. And a lot of the upfront work gets taken care of, or you would think should be taken care of at the beginning. At the you don't want to sound robotic, but when you meet someone after the honeymoon stage, you have to sit down and say, look, this is who I am. It was fun. What we were, the spontaneity. Am I saying it right? It's all good, but that goes away after a while. And you got to maintain it. You got to work at it. But reality hits, right? You got to go to work, and the little things, oh, you made me coffee and things like that. I think that understanding where the person stands or what they expect. If you understand what I need in my life without judging me, I have to understand what you need without judging you and respecting that. And that's what it is. So at the end of the day, after all the intimacy, whether it be sexual, whatever, all you have is a friend, right? All you have is a friend on your side that has your back, that's loyal to you, that can be there when you can't function.
And that's that whole being patient with each other. It's like, because just like I said, if you can't be patient with yourself, then how do you be patient with someone else that really think they knows you or is trying to get to know you? Or so
yeah, definitely.
It's that's a big thing. So,
I just want to add one more thing, Eddie. And so I mean, there's also some there's some good side of communication. When somebody's having a great communication or these guys are very compatible, is when the communication is not even verbal, right? It could be it could be a look, it could be a giggle, it could be something like, hey, how you doing? It's all good. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that stage, that okay, you've gotten to the place where you guys are actually
in sync,
soulmates, right? Because sometimes you can have a conversation without even saying anything, right?
Correct.
You could be like, it could be body language, it could be your eyes, it could be, hey, little things. So those are the things that you look for when you get to that stage where you have that,
that rapport one another, right?
Where you feel comfortable sometimes, pass gas, whatever it is.
Whoa,
that's communication.
That's communication.
That's communication. That's communication. But
that's right. That's right.
At first you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, but then you're like, that was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, if you start giving yourself high fives for passing gas, that's a hell of a communication.
Oh man,
I give my time back.
I'm gonna say thank you for bringing that to the panel, and I have other questions, but because you touched on something that was very key, you guys touched on something that was very key. For you to make certain gestures, and the other, and your significant other understands that. How important is it that we take a step back and also learn about our others, so like that, then our women, so like that, then we can have that communication. Or is she supposed to just understand you and whatever you bring to the table? All right, that's good. And I say that's good because you guys are kind of moving this to the next direction, which is how important is it for us to understand our women in order for them to understand us? That communication level is key. And I agree with you, Manny, that communication is everything, right? And knowledge of self is a lot as well, right? If you don't know yourself, then you don't know what you're looking for.
Right, or what you want.
But how important is it for us to take a step back sometimes and analyze, not analyze, but look at our women so like that we can be eye to eye and maybe have those gestures, right? Like Ray's saying, where we understand each other. How important is that? Manny, how important is that communication there? That
oh man.
Or not the communication, but the willingness to understand your woman as well, not just this is what I'm about and this is what you're gonna do. You like it, you take it, you don't take it. You know, how important is that?
Eddie, you're asking me and you're telling me, right? And what I mean by that is that is the other part of it, right? The other 50 is that, because one thing is to know thyself and all that good stuff and be open-minded, and we share what we want. But if you don't acknowledge what the other person wants or how she is, or you know, her aim, her objective in the relationship, how to treat her, how to make her feel like a queen, then you're not putting your 100%. I always share with the guys, I held myself responsible, 100% responsible for my relationship. I'm responsible how she's feeling, how she's doing, and that way I don't let myself down, or I don't blame her, or I don't focus on her flaws, right? Because if she has flaws, it's because I haven't discussed certain things or expectations that I want, right? So if I can't complain if I haven't put in the time to recognize who I'm with or point that out to her. You know what I mean? It's up to her now what she wants to do with it, right? But ultimately, time will tell if we're going to be together. Go ahead, Rick.
Sorry. So just a quick question on the expectation aspect that you just mentioned, right? So, I mean, do you want to like level set all your expectation up front, or is it that, okay, there's a certain bar that she has to meet, right? But then and then as you guys grow in a relationship, there's certain things that you have to either agree to accept or correct, right?
It's both, right?
Because it's dangerous to say I have my expectations, and if you don't meet them all, then we're going to have some problems, right? So to me, there's a give. There has to be this give and take, right? So because reverse it, right? She also has some certain. And I know this is a man's point of view, but at the same time, in the back of my mind is
think about that too as well.
At our age, at our age, we always we look at both sides, right?
Yeah, 25 is a tough age.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just want to make sure that
that's a good point, right? And thank you. Maybe I should be a little more clear on that. So yeah, obviously expectations at the beginning, the upfront relationship after the honeymoon stage. Hey, this is who I am. But now also leave always the door open to letting the other individual know that we're going to grow. We're not going to feel the same way we feel today in 3 months from now. And how do we attack when things change? How do we as a unit, discuss it or understand or respect, right? Because you might not like, all of a sudden I'm into, something that I wasn't into when we first met, but you have to understand that that's where I am. Now, if it bothers you, you have to let me know, listen, I'm not in tune with what you're doing right now. What can we do about it? Is it that important to you that I'm going to walk my behind out the door, or is it that we're going to discuss it and go forward? And that's how real it is. And one more thing, Eddie, I see you want to say something. Hold on, Eddie. There's nothing wrong. Life is short. There's nothing wrong with being involved with someone and saying, you know what, it wasn't a good fit. Let me start again. You could be 70 years old, but I'd rather you do that than be miserable for the remaining of your life than be with someone. It's totally sad. We get upset, but we move on. Guys, this life is short. I love my wife to death, but I always tell her, the day I don't make you happy, please share with me, because I don't want to hold you. And then I don't want you to hold me either. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, Eddie doesn't have a wife, so I'm just putting it out
there. Wait, that leads me to this question. And I just want a yes or no when I call your name. Just say either yes or no.
Wow.
Is it ever?
That's tough.
Only because it's going to lead to the question, right?
Wow.
Is it ever okay for you to settle in a relationship? Manny?
No.
Ray?
Wow. That's not a yes or no type of question.
Yes or no?
No.
For you to settle.
No.
It is.
No.
I mean, would you?
No.
Is it? No. Chuck.
The honest question.
Chuck.
No.
And when I say that, when you settle, is because you're also just as important. You're also just as important as the person who you're with. So if you're settling, that means you're not the happiest person. And I think those are the type of problems that exist in relationships. In the beginning of relationships, everything is fine and dandy. There's an attraction. Everything is fine. Everybody likes the same colors. Everybody eats the same food. But then something happens where they don't understand each other or something goes on, right?
Yeah.
When is it that we say, you know what? I don't want to settle in this relationship. Where is it? How important is it to be truthful to yourself and not lead yourself into a relationship that you know it's not going to lead to you guys being together?
Who's gonna step up? Because I can always share.
I can step up, right?
Go
So I
for it. Okay.
I think on that one, Eddie, like if that decision has to come internally, right? Like you have to be ready to say, okay, I think either I'm going to be in this relationship 100%, or if you're still not ready to be committed, or you have that, you're not at that part in that life where you're not fully committed, then you have to
be honest.
Be honest with yourself, number one,
right,
and number two with the person. Because if you're not honest with yourself,
yes,
then it leads down to you settling.
It shows up.
Or yeah, exactly. Or you.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just ask this question because I want to I'm sorry to interrupt, but this normally happens when a person feels like they're giving too much of themselves and that person's not giving the same in return. So let's say, for example, you're listening, you're doing all types of things, you're basing your world around this person, but then they're not really doing it the same way. You feel like you're giving too much, and that's when relationships get a little bit funny, right? That's what I'm asking. Like, when is it that we say, wait a minute, how do you find that balance where you're both in it, and you're both giving to the relationship, right? Because yes, we can be very sensitive to everything, but if the woman's not doing that in return, then we feel a little bit, even though we want different things as well, but.
Yeah, but then I think now that becomes when, if you notice that she's doing it, and you maybe notice that you're kind of doing it, then that's when conversations needs to be had, the communications come in and be had, right? Because if those conversations aren't had, then that's when the coming in lates and and just doing
other agendas.
Other agendas. So you don't want that. So you want to be upfront, because that's what a relationship is all about: the trust, the honesty, you got to be upfront. So
my point to that, Chuck, is you can only be upfront if you've already known to yourself that that's what you want to put in, right?
Yeah. But that's what, like, for example, that's what I'm saying. Though, it's like, but that's what I'm saying. I was like, if you've been feeling it, and then you see that she's acting the same, then that's when the conversation has to be had, because it's not a one-sided thing. It's like, if you've been feeling it for a while, that feeling has probably been mutual.
And that's why I always say that's why it's key to have two mature individuals that know thyself. You have to know where you are, right? Because if you know what you want, if your woman knows what you want, and you like playing games, like, yeah, I got this nice piece of ass, she makes a lot of good money, she makes decent money, and everything's intact. But then I'm on the weekend, I'm like, I gotta check this shorty out. You're not really 100% in the relationship. Don't fool yourself. You shouldn't be involved as much, and that's the worst thing man wants to hear, right? But honest, that's the truth.
Because at the end of the day,
as you mature,
it's all headaches. It's all headaches, right?
It's
really
headaches.
Too much work.
It comes back.
Too much work.
It's like anything.
I mean, but let's be honest. It's like, and I want to be very honest on this one, because that's the point that Manny's making. It's like, at the end of the day, you're gonna realize, you're gonna look at yourself and be like, what am I doing? If you're in a relationship and you have to ask that question, what am I doing? Not going well.
So I always look at things. 100%. I always look at things like a contract, right? And it's not as sexy as a lot of people want to hear it, but you get into a contract with someone. Basically, you agree to do certain things, right, according to their expectations and what I agree with. Whether you sign the paper or not, in my mind, this is how I see it. And I said, look, I'm going to hold you down no matter what, as long as this is happening, and vice versa. And that's what I expect. I'm a big believer in prenups and things like that, because everybody frowns on it until the shit hits the fan. And it's like, oh, she took me for all I got. She took me for all or he took my money, or he didn't. Yeah, because you never really set the tone. You got to set the foundation, just like you're building a house. Set the foundation. Everything's going to stay intact. If you come in all, airheaded and, I love him, he's so great, he drives a nice car. Or she has a big ass, she rocks my world. Oh man. And then 3 weeks later, she's trifling. Yeah, mama, you never really took the time to really find out who she is. You wasn't ready.
Yeah, man.
You are not ready.
Listen, this is why we're talking about, this is the subject. What does man look for in a relationship?
I'm waiting for the next question. I see Eddie. I'm waiting for the next question.
I know. That's going to be fire right now.
Well, my next question is this, right? Something that, sometimes people don't understand in relationships. And I'm sure this can go both ways, but there is a part in men that we really need sometimes a little personal space. Like we need our own little, like it's not, and sometimes women may not understand that. They may not understand just because we're alone doesn't mean we don't care about them. We don't love them. We don't want to be with them.
Can you repeat that one more time, please? Can you just repeat that one more time? Because that sounded so nice.
You trying to convey a message, right?
It was crisp.
Say it one more time.
He's using you.
So I'm referring to, personal space. And I think it goes both ways. But I think men sometimes appreciate quality time with themselves or even with, like they're, just their own thinking. And sometimes we need that space. And women sometimes may not understand that. So I'm going to ask Chuck, how important is personal space to you? And in a relationship.
I tell you, it's very important to me because I tell you, some people don't understand when I say I'm
grabbing a drink by yourself.
Well, no. Don't you know how you could be talking, have a conversation. It's like I'm my best listener. I'm my best person. So it's like me being to and gather my thoughts because I do have family to take care of, and everything is about everything else but myself.
You say you have a conversation by yourself, Chuck? Is that what you're saying?
All the time. I'm
my best professional help.
I'm my best listener.
Of course, we have anything. That's right.
I am my best listener, and I tell you that having
how long have you guys been going out?
Getting off the subject. Anyway, but to have personal space, and you encourage your mate to have their personal space because it's healthy. It's very healthy. I encourage everyone to have personal time, to have their own space.
It's therapeutic.
Because if you don't, you'll start to drift. Not like, I can
worse,
say hard,
just wind everything, compressing, and you have that time to expand and realize. Totally agree with that one.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
And personal space can be like you going to the gym, maybe taking a run, maybe bike riding, or maybe just sitting down in a certain spot in the house and just watching a movie alone. But then of course you have to have the cozy time and the cuddle time. But
of course.
Oh, thank you for that. Do you guys want to add on anything to that personal space question? Because I do have some more questions.
I want to add to that too. Like it's so there's also like, to me, it's we're going to be constantly talking, right? So I'll be talking about my problems. You can talk about your problems, but at some point in time, I don't want to talk. There's time for talking.
That's so right. That's right.
I don't want to talk. There's time for talking, right? So because if you spend too much, if every time you're together and you just talk, then to Charlie's point, you lose certain things that you may want to do, right? Yeah. And it may not be the gym. It may not be. It's just like, hey, listen, I'm Ray, and this is what I used to do. I haven't done it in a while, and just being able to do something that I loved before, it goes a long way. Refreshes, gives you more energy. And it adds, like, you could plan a little bit better. So it's definitely, to me, it's very important that you have that moment where you have a break and you say, okay, this is me time. Yeah. And go.
And personal space doesn't have to be somewhere in the house. It could be anywhere.
Anywhere, right? And I think, Chuck, I think a lot of the times relationships don't work because people feel, right? Two things. People think that because you're in a relationship, you have to be with a person 24/7. That's not the case. You have to give each other space. It's healthy. It rejuvenates the relationship.
Say that word again. Say that word again.
It rejuvenates the relationship.
It's healthy.
It is healthy. And human nature, right? it doesn't matter if it's your wife, your girlfriend, your best friend, your best pal. We as humans, we're wired to eventually make the other person want to choose whatever we're choosing. That's how we are. We're constantly takers. We're takers. We're taker. I could be with my best bud, but all of a sudden, if I drink Bud Light and he's drinking Heineken, I'm like, yo, how come you like the Heineken? We focus on the little things, and that's just human nature. We constantly want, because it's a survival thing. That's number one. Part two of it is, and I know some people might not agree with it, but it sounds like a cop-out. Genetically, we're hunters. So we can't be in the cave all day talking about, what are we going to do with this side of the house? It gets tiring. So we feel as men, if we step out of the realm, even if it's just to shoot the hoops, when we come back, so what happened while I wasn't here? It's something new. You need that space, and not just in a relationship, husband and wife, or girlfriend and boyfriend, just a friendship. When you catch yourself getting annoyed at the stupid things, at the silly things, oh, here goes Chuck again with this. No, it's not him. It's that you've been together too long, and that's the life balance. Hey, Chuck, say it again. Life balance.
Life balance.
Yeah. So let me ask this question now, right? Relationships begin somewhere, right? You meet somebody, you're attracted to them, right? Whether it's a conversation, whether you're attracted to the mind, whether you're attracted to the body, whether you're attracted, whatever drives you, right? Even as a hunter, right? You choose your prey, or you want
Hello away.
I'm gonna ask Ray, what is it that you're first attracted to in a woman, and what maintains that attractiveness about that woman? What do you first?
I would say the obvious would be obviously the physical aspect of the woman.
Okay.
But on top of that, if there's certain like mystique about it that just gets me to like intrigued a little bit more, right? Right. Because listen, this world is full of beautiful women across the world, right? We can't get all of them. There's always one thing that attracts you more than just the physical aspect of it. And so that's the first thing for me, right? And then the other thing obviously is then being able to have a conversation, right? If the person is as dumb as a doorknob, then move on, right? It sounds hard,
unless
but
you're in their
the
head too, right?
Yeah, it sounds hard, but at the end of the day, like okay, so if you really want to build some kind of relationship, or you have other things in mind, then you're already setting yourself in one approach. But yeah, physicality for me, obviously.
So Ray, thank you for that. Now let me ask you this question. This just popped into my mind, right? You said the first thing you're attracted to is the way of the physical. And then of course, of course the mind, an intellectual woman, a person that could have, different conversations, a person who's warm, a person who's compassionate. Mm-hmm. If you were a person who had no eyesight, if you were blind, would the physical mean that much?
Damn, what a twist. Damn.
Wow.
Big Bertha.
Knowing my personality and what I like to do, even though I don't have my eyesight, it would be, all right, how compatible are we in the things that I like? Like, listen, I like dancing. I like doing a lot of, I like doing a lot of things that involve a lot of physical activities, outside, but at the same time, I also like to also be able to treat a woman like a woman, like cook for her, massage, whatever it is, like give her, show her how, I also express my emotions. It doesn't have to be words, but it could be, let's go for a walk here, or let's go for a walk and then guess what, I'll buy you this, or, like surprises and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean,
step your game up. Listen.
That's
wait, I'm sorry. That's a vague answer. Eddie said if you were blind, respectfully.
I'm going back to it.
Come on now, bring it in. They want to hear it.
But if I'm blind, that means that my other senses, if you guys remember, we had another show. Senses. My other senses.
I mean, you can't walk around touching people, Ray.
Or smelling.
I like her. Oh yeah.
Or smelling. Or smelling.
With the physical.
No. So obviously, in this particular instance, the example that you give me, it has to be an immediate mind connection, right? So I have to be able to see where she is because at the end of the day, you know, if I can't see what you know, so it doesn't matter what she looks like, right? But if I could communicate to her and see that there's something that we have in common, like, you know, she likes to do this, she does, you know, that would be the other aspect that, okay, I can't see her, but this is the things that I like to do. Is she into it as well? Right.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you for that.
But
I just want
listen, for me, let me give my opinion on that. I mean, for me, I have to tell you that me growing up, I just enjoyed women, period. Just from a little boy growing up. So I truly don't. There's not a physical or just, you know, a visual. It's like I just enjoy women. It's like, listen, all women need love. Everyone needs love, but all women.
Say it again. Love. Say it again. Say it again.
All women need love. No matter. They need it. You don't. I mean, trying to classify what they look like, it's wrong. That's just me. Look,
Chuck.
I don't want to.
You just got 100 followers.
No, man, that's not that is. But listen, me personally, I love women, and you shouldn't judge by a physical, or I get the mental, the just looking at a woman. You know what I mean?
As an individual,
as an individual, not about just like I said what they look like, or it's. Yeah. I mean, just a judgment on anything, but.
So let me ask you this: if she weighs 350 pounds, but she treats you right, you're okay with that?
She's a woman; she needs love. Of course,
I love that. Yeah, you heard it here first. Why? Chuck is willing.
Because she weighed 300 pounds. Why is she treated different?
I love that.
You're right.
That's from the heart. That's from the heart.
You can't put a judgment on that. Like if that's a criteria of what a man is looking for in a relationship, then you might as well not even be looking, because guess what? There's a lot of beautiful plus women out there.
Yeah.
And you know, there's mean people out there that judge by that.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's wrong. So it's like,
and good-hearted people too get passed up on
it. Yeah, man. So it's like I would never judge anybody by their appearance, because it's wrong. It's like,
have you ever dated someone? Have you dated someone that wasn't necessarily the most attractive in your past?
I have.
That you have.
I have. And I am one of my closest friends too. Yes.
Oh wow.
I have.
Oh, she became your closest friend?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
I respect that.
This is getting good. This is getting good right here.
So it's
Chuck, hold on. Let me talk, please. Let me give me the floor for a second, because Chuck is not one to say that if he doesn't mean it. This guy is as real and genuine as it comes, and he's only gonna say that if he means it. And I can attest to how he is. You know, a lot of guys come in, no, I'll do this, I'll do that. If Chuck said he dated Big Bertha, he did, and he's real about it. Go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry.
See, I just passed it back to me, I think. But nah, man, look, look, just like I said, I will never judge anyone by their appearance, or look, I think I'm a fun loving guy. I don't ask too much of people. But I want, if you're going to treat somebody with respect, treat them how you want to be treated, right? So
there you go. Say it again. No, now you say that again.
Man, treat them how you want to be treated. Right?
That's the answer to the whole podcast right now.
That's it.
That's the answer. Right now.
I mean, so if
I'm done.
If I said too much, I'm gonna pass it back to Eddie.
No. So you know what? Let me just say, wow. That's a very genuine answer. I think if everybody thought like that, I think, unfortunately, society is what causes those.
Yeah, man. Society.
That's the problem a lot of times. Society.
Right. You have these models, and I don't want to go sideways. I definitely don't want to go sideways, but I definitely want to talk about that a little bit, because that's very key. And I know that for the people that are listening, like you said, everybody needs love. And let's just, and who's to say that every man has that body too, right? Or that look, or that, right? I mean, and women, you've seen different women with different types of men, but different types, different physical.
That's when the relationship
physique,
transcends. Yeah, the
Physicality,
physicality.
right?
Yeah, that's when it transcends the physicality. That's when they have
Yeah,
some
man.
emotional
Yeah.
connection. It's beyond that.
Yeah, but I thank you for that, because I think that a lot of people would appreciate that we do look at the mind, and we do look at the security of a woman, that we do look at future. We're not talking about a one night stand. We're not talking about a little a
Yeah, man.
21-year-old relationship, a 21-year-old person relationship where you don't even know yourself. We're talking about future and what you're going to hold on to and grow together, to be united as one, right?
Yeah, man.
But I'm going to tweak this a little bit right now, right? You guys are good. I hope the audience is listening, because this is it. This question here is for everybody on this podcast, and I want you guys to take a second to really think about this answer. And this is it, right? What is your number one turn on, right? And I think we kind of answered it, but I want you to really focus on this one answer. Right? What is your number one turn on, and what is your number one turn off about a woman?
Wow.
Something that you will not negotiate if she did this or she is this, or something that you just say, you know what? No, I'm not gonna invest more in this relationship, because if this is what I'm into, then I'm not doing it. That's the turn off.
The turn off? Oh, jealousy. There's no room for that. There's no time for that. No room, no time, no effort. It's not even worth it. It's like, if you know you're jealous, stay away.
Wow.
And what's the turn on, Chuck? How about the turn on, Chuck?
A turn off, man, a great personality, man. Just being able to hold a conversation and just be willing to be open and want to talk.
Okay. Anyone want to step up to that question? Manny?
I can, yeah.
Right?
It's not too hard. I can speak more than I should as usual. But for me, a turn off would be when you shut down. When you say, I don't want to talk, then what are we doing? When you shut down and you close the doors, I can't communicate. We can't go forward. Gotcha. I can't understand you. That's my turn off. My turn on will be no limits as far as how we could grow as individuals. Like, you're open to anything. You're open to anything. I love that.
Wow,
Chuck, stop being evil. Look at Chuck. He's being evil. Stop it.
Okay. Ray, how about you?
I will follow the same pattern. I'll start with the turn off and then the turn on. The turn off is insecurity. Insecurity, right? Just complete insecurity. That just, it brings a lot more effort on our end to make the person feel secure and no. Okay. Turn on is just jumping on the ride to make sure that the intimacy could go anywhere that I can take you, and you could accept it, and you just open up, and then you just let me, you trust me in being able to get you to experience a lot more different things in life. It doesn't have to be in bed, and it doesn't have to be a sexual thing. It could be hey, tomorrow let's just go and just do skydiving. Right?
Amen.
Something
Great.
Yep.
Let me ask you though, for our listeners that are listening to the show right now, and it goes a little bit of, I guess, what I believe in, but in terms of insecurity, what if you have an individual that has all the attributes that we're looking for? Everything's in tune, everything's in line, but the person just happens to have a bad upbringing and she's insecure, or he's insecure. I don't know how you flow.
So
we're talking about women here.
Yeah. So
what men look for in women.
But so let me answer that question to you, Eddie, right? So the way you pose the question, right, is like, okay, so we're in this together, right? So yeah, you may have some doubts, you may have some questions, right? So let's have a conversation and let's just talk about it, and let's figure out what the options are, right? And you ask me what I think about it. I'll invest my time, and I'll give you what I think it is.
Yeah.
But if you don't value that, and you still put that aside, and you still have your worries and everything else, then to Eddie's point, or to your point, Manny, it's like we're talking, but we're not getting anywhere, right? So like there isn't enough, like the person doesn't want to let go and basically take on other people's advice and say, okay, if you're insecure because you're looking for somebody else to give you that sense of, okay, this is how we should be done. No, this is right. This happens to everybody, blah, 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 blah. You're not the only one on the boat.
Yeah.
So if you want to be able to, so some people are just steadfast in believing worst case scenarios all the time.
Right. Well, let me tell you. So, and I'm a little biased to that, right? And I'm in tune, and I'm not, right? Because I learned the hard way, and I that was my sentiment, right? But over the years, I do believe that if everything else, for the most part, everything else that you're looking for, it lines up. If you're that rock to that person to some extent, I'm not saying take them on like a baby, but that it develops, it changes, it manifests into a beautiful thing, right? If you meet someone that is a little scared about jumping into a business, if you meet someone that's a little scared about taking risk, about zip lining, like I know some of the people here in the podcast, or I'm not gonna say no names. But if you say, listen, hold my hand, I got you. Let's do it together. Or let's open up this business together. Or let's buy this house together. And all those fears, don't you strengthen it? And I'm playing devil's advocate because that goes against, don't you strengthen that individual as a whole and makes you as a unit stronger?
If they follow or if they agree with what's been discussed, but if at the end of the day they reverse back and say, you know what, they go back to following their own gut feel and beliefs, it goes against everything. It's just like
got it.
Like,
so if you try a couple of things and
it's wasted time, right? So because at the end of the day, again, so it's a relationship where both of you are growing, but if one of them, if you guys are on a boat and you let the boat sail, but then one of them is being the anchor, the boat ain't going nowhere. You guys are going to be stuck in the same spot, right? So sometimes you gotta, some people have a hard time releasing the anchor and just going with it, right?
But what if you give her the scissors to cut the anchor? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't cut an anchor with a scissor. Just
I have this
bad analogy.
So check this out. How true is this statement? Right? How true is this statement? The way to a man's heart is through a man's stomach.
I truly believe that.
Talk about it, Chuck.
Listen, I believe a woman should know how to cook if it's not just for herself, right? You're going to have a family someday, maybe, and you want to actually have that ability to provide a good meal, a healthy, nourishing meal, even if it's not to cook for your family. That's big for me. My mother taught me how to cook when I was 13.
He's a good cook too.
And I tell you, I'm not mad if I don't get a cooked meal, because I know, if I'm busy and I could run upstairs and cook me something real quick, that's good. But to have a woman that knows that she's confident in the kitchen and will put the apron on and pull out the chopping board and get that pot going, woo-wee. Man.
I don't think at that point it's cooking. I think at that point it's the apron. Because you know how to cook already. It's the apron, Chuck. Come on, let's be real.
No. But I believe that a woman should, know how to cook, and if she doesn't, be willing to learn.
Can teach her.
Be willing to learn.
At a minimum, right?
At a minimum.
Okay. Anyone else want to add to that?
I have a different point of view on that one. Like point of view, only because, like Chuck, my mom taught me how to cook. My sisters taught me how to cook. So I've always been cooking since I was at a young age, right? But it would be for me, and I'm talking personally. Yes, it's good that you could have your partner that can cook. That's great. But to me, if she didn't know how to cook, or I'll step in, and I love to cook, and I'll just whip up a quick meal for me or the kids and everything else. So in my case, I don't think that's not everything.
So you can't so a woman can't win your heart through cooking. It's not necessarily. No,
because and I'm going to throw this question right back at you, because
okay,
if you know how to cook, right, and then somebody brings you a meal, in the back of your mind you're like, man, I could cook better than this, right? So I mean, truthfully, right? So, but yeah, I mean, the gesture is great.
If it's better?
No, but if it's slamming, now.
But then but being in a relationship, right? You would want your partner to know how to cook, because guess what? Whatever you cook and you don't feel like cooking,
DoorDash.
Yeah, like I said, to me, it's not a deal breaker. Honestly, to me,
it's not a deal. No. Of course, it's not a deal breaker for me. No, not at all. But shit, she can cook.
But it would definitely be a plus, right?
Yes, big plus. Yes.
Now, if she's trying to cook and she messes up all the time, I'm like, okay, baby, don't worry about it. I got this. I'll let it be known.
She's trying.
All right. So we've gotten to the point of the show where we're kind of bringing it to a close, and I'm going to go around the panel. I'm just going to say, if you had any words to tell women about what it is that men look at, just something quick, something short, but direct. What would you tell a woman that men truly appreciate about them in about 1 to 2, maybe even 3 sentences? We'll start with Manny Fresh.
Yes. Great question, Ed. And thank you guys for sharing your thoughts. This show is fire right now. I love it. I would say, number one, start with knowing thyself, even if you have to seek help. Not help. People get intimidated with help. But talk to someone, talk to a professional. If you don't know who you really are or what you want, they'll line it up and they'll put it in tune, right? That's imperative, that you know what it is that you want. We think we know what we want for security, money, things like that, but it's not always the case. Number two, for a female to catch a good man, just be real and be honest and understand that he is a man at the end of the day, right? It's like that old saying, you let a bird go and they'll come back to you if it belongs to you. That's what we are as men, right? If the guy's genuine and he doesn't have a second agenda, at least at my age right now, just be honest and understand that he needs a space, just like you need your space. And then finally, have his back no matter what he's going through, and be loyal. That's it.
Thank you for that, Manny. Wow, thank you for that. Chuck or Ray, either one.
Listen, Manny touched on it. I mean, just be open and honest with yourself, and with the other person. If it's not something that you really want, be honest. Don't waste your time, waste their time, and just be open and honest. That's it.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, look, for me, it's honestly is just being able to establish a few things in the beginning, right? So, hey, listen, I got your back. You don't have to worry about certain things like, financially, all that stuff. You don't have to worry about that stuff. You just lay that out the way. And then let's just find things where we're truly compatible in, right? Because, besides talking, if we can engage in activities where we both, going to have some fun, and I'm the only one having fun, then you're never going to enjoy it, right? So let's find a common ground where besides the physical connection and everything, but let's do something together where you can build something, right? And not have some fun, develop some hobbies, something you guys could do together, but at the same time give my space, right? So it's like learning that there's two personalities, right? The boundaries of those personalities and being able to live together.
Well, thank you for that. Well, guys, so this is
Wait, what about you, Eddie? I want to hear you answer your own question.
So my question about I mean, you guys kind of summed it up. I think transparency is always
cap out. You can't say that.
Well, I'm gonna add on. I'm adding on. I think transparency is always something that I definitely appreciate, because I'm very transparent, very honest. The way you meet me day one is probably the same person you'll know day 100, 2 years later, 5 years later. my character does not change because I try to be as honest as I'm going to be, or I am at all times. And I don't sway up and down, left and right. I don't try to fabricate someone that I'm not. And I do expect that from a woman who I meet. And I think that's where where sometimes problems happen when we try to sell something that we're not, and then the truth comes out eventually. So I would say definitely from day one, always be who you are. If someone's gonna like you or eventually love you, they're gonna like you for who you are. You don't have to be perfect, but be who you are and be comfortable in your own skin. No one wants perfect. Perfect is boring anyway, right? A person who has a beautiful heart, and I say a heart, a person who cares, who has empathy, a person who feels for other people, because I'm that kind of person. It's almost like there's certain things that I like to see in other characters that attract me, and people that care about people I'm attracted to. Intelligence, good conversation, and also a woman who can take a step back and not be so. Don't be. I don't know if this is a word, but I'm going to use it. I think you'll understand. Don't be so attacky. Like don't claim things so much. Like don't try to control situations that are uncontrollable. The more you control, the more you do not. The more you do not, the more you do. And I'm going to leave us with this saying, love a person to the point where they feel free.
Wow.
Say that again.
Love a person to the point where they feel free. Let them be them. That means that you're allowing them to be themselves around you. There's another saying that I'm going to leave people with. You don't love me. You love you when you're around me. So people bring out the best in people when they're around certain characters that allow that to happen, right? And chances are that those people that have those characteristics are people that understand the true meaning of life. There's a lot of people that are lost souls out here and they don't even know where they're going. They don't understand concepts. They don't know, anyway, I don't want to go so far left or right, but a person who's very grounded and understands what their purpose is and is grounded and loves themselves, security is important. Insecurity, insecurity is not terror is not a deal breaker, but it depends on what, right?
At what level, right?
It's on what level. So, but I'm going to say this for the audience who stayed with us this whole time. If you guys want a second show, because I know there's a lot of questions that you might have after we've answered all this. I know that because now maybe you want to say, how about this? And how about this? And how about that?
Oh, if they want to come in as a guest, Eddie, right?
Yeah, if they want to come in, please leave your comments.
That'd be great.
Leave your comments below. You'll see where you can find us. We say it every episode. We're very excited. Hopefully you guys can ask us questions.
Participate in the conversation. Yep.
Right. Participate in the conversation. And we'll leave you with that. Thank you for listening, guys. Great show tonight.
Great show.
Podcast show. Knowledge without borders.
Knowledge without borders.
Podcast. Ladies, we all need love. Like Chuck said, everybody needs love.